General Hugh Shelton was, of course, with the armed forces for a long time, and he's written a new book called Without Hesitation, The Honesty of an American Warrior. And he was, in the part of the book, he tells an amazing story of when he was in a cabinet meeting during the Clinton administration. Now, the Clinton administration had a lot of run-ins with Saddam Hussein as well, and at different times, they certainly justified attacking him. They would do bombings every once in a while. Of course, there was no big-scale invasion, as there was under the Bush administration. But a lot of people in the administration thought about it, and some of them wanted it. And apparently, according to General Shelton, during one of the cabinet meetings, somebody leaned over, and he doesn't name who, right? There's a lot of speculation as to who it is, but I think the speculation is terrible, and so we have no idea. But apparently, somebody leaned over and said, "Hey, can we fly one of our planes really low,
and slow,
low
and slow,
right? Encouraging Saddam Hussein to shoot at it,
right?
Okay, so that'll be a pretense for us to attack Saddam Hussein." Okay, now this is very interesting because in 2003, already reported in the press, in the New York Times, etc. George Bush had nearly identical idea that he presented to Tony Blair. I mean, that got so serious that the president approved it and presented to a foreign leader, which is far more serious. But both things are crazy. Okay?
They're crazy. The Bush thing is significantly crazier and much more advanced.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just low and slow. It was take a U.S. plane, paint it as a UN plane, a United Nations plane, and then get Saddam to shoot it down.
Right. So, but
take a U.S. spy plane, paint it as a UN plane, and get it to shoot it. And get Saddam to shoot it down.
And both ideas are, of course, the same in the sense that, hey, we will get, and according to General Shelton, this person actually said to him, we will get world sympathy on our side, and then they'll back us in our effort to invade Iraq. So I get a lot out of this. First, let me tell you General Shelton's reaction. He said, "Oh yeah, we can do that." And the person on the other end was like, "Really, we can?" And because he or she was apparently really kind of like reluctantly said, like,
yeah,
let me run a crazy idea by you, right? And General Shelton said, no, we can, don't worry. We're just going to have to train you up to fly, and then I'll have you fly the plane.
Fly as low and slow as you want.
Right.
And we'll shoot you, and he'll shoot you down.
Right, because General Shelton said he was so mad thinking about the pilot in that plane who would have died in that scenario, right?
Right.
So now, again, Ben, you're 100% right to say that one is like some crazy idea somebody has in the cabinet, which is terrible, which she or she should have never brought up to General Shelton, right?
She or she?
He or she. But the other one apparently was brought up, discussed, agreed to, the president signed off on it, and brought to a foreign leader, and involved the United Nations. Okay.
No, look, George Bush was they were honest and have been, as we've seen. Forget the bringing that part. You bring up a very specific example. They were hell bent on finding some pretense to go to war with Iraq. They're like, I don't care what the United Nations is. We're going to find the going to the United Nations was their spy plane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. And in that account of between Bush and Blair, Bush tells Blair, I don't care if they don't find any weapons, we're going. Okay?
We're going, yeah.
And Blair basically says yes. That's what got Blair into so much trouble.
Right. No matter what they find, our pretense is weapons of mass destruction. Even if the UN doesn't find them, we're going to do it.
Right.
So,
and by the way, so Blair got in so much trouble in Great Britain over that, which is a great point about Great Britain. Mm. God bless them for at least putting, that being a scandal.
Paying attention to it.
Right. Here in America, Bush was like this. Okay. Yeah. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, they got reported, and they're like, oh, well, of course, yeah.
And there's an instant thought that even for bringing this up, that we're some sort of crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. But
he told Tony Blair. They wrote it down.
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed. There's
yeah. So now, back to the Clinton administration. It goes to show you, though, and what I get most out of this is, my God, we were going to war with Iraq, man. And it didn't matter if we had a Democrat. It didn't matter if we had, I think it would have mattered if we had Al Gore. I don't think he would have done it, right? But the Democrat in charge wanted to do it. Certainly a lot of people in his cabinet wanted to do it. Now, they ultimately didn't, right? But they also didn't have a cause, right? As much as Bush pretended to, okay?
Yeah.
He had a moment. He didn't have a cause. But
but I'm going to use your theory. Like, yeah, okay, again, but in the end, Peyton Manning didn't play well, and they lost that Super Bowl. Like, yeah, okay, you're right. He did. I can't get beyond that when you say he chokes in the playoffs. Clinton didn't. And there's zero evidence that he came even remotely close.
No, but, and I'm not even charging that, Ben. What I'm trying to drive at is there have been people inside this government that were dying to attack
No
Iraq.
question, no question. But I just
what I want people to understand is that it's not based on something. So Bush says whether they had the weapons or they didn't have the weapons. The Clinton people, at least some of them, were like, they shoot a plane down, they don't shoot a plane down. Who cares? We just want a pretense to attack Iraq. And that idea was so strong, and that eventually it won over. And what I'm curious about is the forces behind that idea.